Well, good morning, everyone. This is Mr. N streaming to you from his desk at home during this COVID-19 crisis. Today, we want to make a transition from what we've been working with so far. Our last set of studies was about introduction to criminal law. And that's where we learned about a couple of key terms called actus reus, which is the actual act of the crime, and mens rea, which is the thinking and the mindset that occurred at the time of the crime. Now, as we move forward, those two terms, as we'll see, are really important to understanding the actual criminal law that we're going to review. Now, first things first, we're going to study the big kahuna of criminal law, and that is homicide. And the reason we look at this one first is because it's sort of the ultimate crime in many ways. The other thing about homicide is it's a very good way of understanding actus reus and mens rea. And so we're going to start with that. Now, first things first, let's flip over to the Criminal Code of Canada. One of the important things to note is that all of the criminal law in Canada is a law that is made in Ottawa by the federal government, and it covers all of Canada. And so British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and so forth don't make their own criminal law. We have one government in Ottawa, our federal government, that covers all of Canada with the criminal laws that they make. Now, all the criminal law is in a law called C-46, and you can see on screen there, RSC 85 C-46 is the number of the law, and it's called the Criminal Code of Canada. You can search for it online. Just type in Criminal Code of Canada into your search box, and you'll find it. It's online as HTML and also in PDF format if you want to look at it and keep it and download, as I've done. So what we're going to do is to take just a quick look at the criminal code here. As I find my window. There it is. Okay. So here's the Criminal Code of Canada. As you can see, as we scroll down, it's in both English and French. And so it's simply the Canadian law that says all our laws need to be in both English and French. And if you look at the table of contents, you can see that everything here is included. Now they have administering and enforcing the law, so they give instructions to the police about how to actually arrest people and how to use force when required. As we go down further, we start to see some of the crimes listed, like high treason, sabotage, mutiny, all those kinds of things that you don't think about too often, but are certainly crimes. As we continue to go down, we see more specific crimes, unlawful assemblies and riots. Now that's one that would have applied during the G7 protests or the G20 protests in Toronto, and we watched that video earlier in the semester. So unlawful assembly, riot, punishment, and so forth. Forcible entry, piracy, hijacking. What else? Terrorism. There's a big section on terrorism. And so on. Well, firearms, here we have it. And so every crime has a section in the Criminal Code of Canada. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to section our link doesn't work. How do you like that? We're going to go down to section 222, which is homicide. And we're going to see the law at work there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign off, and with this little introduction to the criminal code, and in our next video we'll take a more specific look at homicide.